Loss creates a specific, heavy silence. When a close friend or parent passes away, it leaves an emptiness that feels absolute. This pain is a byproduct of how we natively perceive reality. We view ourselves and those we love as independent, static entities, like nouns moving through a silent void. This perspective carries a harsh logical consequence. If a person is a self-contained unit, then their physical death represents a total erasure. When the unit stops, the existence ends. Buddhist philosophy suggests this anguish stems from a misunderstanding of how life actually functions. The master in our story observes that the disciple is mourning an isolation that never existed. Our existential fear relies on the assumption of a self that is separate from the world around it. To test this assumption, we can look at a single wildflower blooming in the dirt. This flower is the result of specific, traceable inputs. It requires the biological data in a seed, the presence of water in the soil, and the energy of direct sunlight. These inputs are themselves dependent on massive, invisible systems. The sunlight requires a specific planetary distance. The rain requires atmospheric cycles. The growth requires the steady rhythm of the seasons. This is yongi, or dependent origination. It is the observation that nothing exists in a vacuum. Every entity is a point in a vast network. When you move one node, the entire surrounding structure must adjust to accommodate it. We name it a flower, but we are looking at a temporary intersection of universal actions. It is a manifestation of the sun, the rain, and the soil working in concert. Absolute independence is a physical impossibility. No part of this flower, or any other living thing, has the capacity to generate itself. This network logic applies to human identity as well, which we can see through the metaphor of a fast-moving river. The water molecules passing these stones change every second. The physical substance of the river is in a state of constant replacement, yet the pattern of the river remains recognizable. Human beings function as a similar kind of continuity. Your cells, your memories, and your perspectives are in a state of constant flux, yet the pattern of you persists through that change. If we view a person as a specific pattern of causes and effects within a web, then death is a change in the form of that pattern rather than a disappearance of the energy. A father's presence continues through the specific physical and psychological traits he set in motion. His gestures, his way of speaking, and his values are active components of the sun's current biological and mental system. The flame stays lit because the wax, the wick, and the oxygen in the room cooperate to sustain it. Life is a collaborative process. What we perceive as an end is a redistribution of influence within the network. The pattern changes, but the connection remains. When the initial storm of grief clears, it leaves behind an expanded understanding of our place in the world. You can trace the chain of reliance from the microscopic to the cosmic. Biology relies on geology, geology on meteorology, meteorology on planetary physics, and the planets on the vacuum of space. The self is a convenient label for a relationship. We exist because everything else exists. To draw a single breath today requires the silent cooperation of the entire ecosystem and the precise mechanics of the solar system. Because the entire universe is required to sustain a single life, you have never been truly alone.